VIR and it's cold.
And a little windy.
Yeah, it's very windy. Ben.
What you got there?
I got the faster car.
It might be if it had a K-swap in it.
No, it doesn't, no. A K-swap would be inferior to the Toyota Camry engine that's in there right now.
Said no one ever.
Now, fellas, what's better? Folks, is it gonna be the Toyota Camry hybrid engine, or is it gonna be the Honda CRV engine?
Acura TSX.
Okay, well, whatever. The CRV sounded cooler. Ben, on paper, my car is way faster than yours, because it has a vastly superior power to weight ratio.
Oh, sure, okay. What, you make 230?
I make 230 and the car weighs 2,100 pounds.
With you in it?
Not with me in it. With me in it, 2280 or something.
Okay, mine's 2550 with me in it, so it is definitely heavier. Yep. About the same power, but a way better power band because it's K-Series.
No,
so
actually, no. Mine
is gonna walk away.
A significantly better power band.
And I have gear ratios on you.
We're competing in our first SCCA Time Trials event, an event that you win not by crossing the line before anyone else, but by setting the fastest time over the course of 2 days. Very much like Grid Life Time Attack.
The wrinkle in that familiar format is that your ultimate result is the combination of your fastest times from the first and second days of the event. Unfortunately, I didn't know this because, being the well-prepared racer I am, I didn't read the rules before this event, nor did I prepare my car at all.
The issue is going to be that my car is a total basket case to drive. If you guys saw the video last time, where I was doing my best impression of Takumi Fujiwara from Initial D, nothing has changed about the setup. I have some different wheels on the back, but the tires aren't any wider.
What width? 205?
225 square.
Okay, 225.
Yeah. So nothing has gotten better about the setup. I haven't tweaked any suspension, nothing. So the car is going to be just as bad, if not worse, as it was last time. And we'll try and just wrangle it.
Yeah, in theory, you'll have a higher top speed and I'll have higher corner speeds. This is kind of the difference between sorted and not sorted, like 3 years of development and...
3 years of development versus a man who was probably addicted to methamphetamine in West Virginia.
While Ben spent a bit more time getting his Camry swapped MR2 ready to go out, I hopped in my thoroughly prepped Civic to get a bit of practice. It warmed up a bit, but unfortunately, my fresh new Kumo V730 tires didn't. What was happening was the discovery of a trait in the Exta 730. The tire takes a comparatively long time to come into its operating temperature versus something more autocross oriented, like the RE71 or RT660, the tire that I'm used to. Unlike those, which fire right up after about one warm-up lap, these Kumos need about 2 or 3 to really get grip. Otherwise...
I think the rear trailing arms being extra stiff with all the bracing that I've added is actually making it slide more than it was before, which was already a lot. So I might want to consider adding more rear tire. I've dropped the rear tire pressure. I'm going to give it more rear wing angle and see how that feels. Maybe once it warms up, it'll feel a little bit stickier as well. But we'll find out. That's why we're here, to mess around and drift around.
You'd certainly expect more drifting in the next session because the MR2 was finally ready to go on track. But surprisingly, the fresh tires in the rear, although a less sticky tire like for like, did wonders to tame the snappy and unpredictable tail of the runabout. Now, all I had to contend with was the absolutely schizophrenic alignment.
The car is so scary to drive.
Meanwhile, my setup changes and new tire knowledge were helping me to tame the Honda. Mostly. Because of how long the tires take to warm, I was forced to momentarily let a quick 350Z go by. But after a few laps, the Civic was untouchable.
Ben, make sure you go faster, like, don't hold anybody up. So I was like, okay.
Put you in the very front, all right? Thank you.
Oh, you'll get it.
Follow the pace car, keep up with the pace car, or you're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah, I did, and until the pace car spun out and I passed him.
I finished the Saturday sessions leading our class by 4 seconds over the nearest competitor, which was that 350Z. After my initial uncertainty, the Civic had really come around to being the rapid and dialed-in machine that I'm used to.
And the MR2 was the same basket case it's always been. By this point, I was really regretting not getting the car professionally aligned before the event. Thanks to the unpredictable handling and my lack of seat time, I was 4 seconds off my best lap last time I was at VIR, and nearly 10 seconds off Ben's best time in the Honda, 8th in class.
Well, I think we can safely say that Ben is a lot faster in the Civic than the MR2.
Well, Ben, you're pretty close. So 10 seconds?
Yeah, around about 10 seconds. So watch your back.
I gotta be careful. Yeah, that's.
I honestly didn't do any preparation for this event, really, because I thought I was going to be bringing the Evo. We'll talk about that later. In the future, I'd like to spend more time getting this car ready and bring it out with some extra development.
Yeah.
But, hey, you got a PB, right?
I did get a PP, 208. There's a 207 in it, probably, maybe 206 even.
If it was going to be a close fight at all, it would take a miracle.
It's actually literally snowing right now. I've never gone on the racetrack with snow before. This is totally a new thing for me. Rain, sure, snow. But it's not like it's sticking on the ground or anything, so it's really just gonna be like rain. Except probably less accumulation on the windshield. But I mean, yeah, times are all gonna be slower today. This is just gonna be for car control, just having fun.
But of course, I hadn't read the rules.
All we're asking for, of these 3 time attack sessions we're offering, you need 1 lap. And that gets you your full cumulative competition time from your lap you turned yesterday afternoon to today.
I had read the rules, and I knew that in order to win the class, the Civic just needed to go out and be within 4 seconds of my next fastest competition. I did have a problem though.
Well, I'm very well prepared for this event. Because it's so close to home, it's like an hour away, I just didn't bring a bunch of my spares that I normally bring. And in that spare box are my wiper blades. I did not bring wiper blades, and it's actively snowing. In Formula One, when cars go out in the rain, they often complain about visibility because, well, obviously they don't have a windshield, so they've got rain coming off of their visors and everything, but whoever's in first place for that grid order generally doesn't complain about the rain because they don't have the spray up from the cars in front of them. And thankfully, I'm in the front, so I shouldn't have any spray up to follow, and I hope that works in my favor.
This will be fun.
To everyone's surprise, the MR2 did have wipers, and I was going to need them, because I was starting from the very back.
All right, second gear. Let's see how much grip we've got. None, got it.
Despite the laps being dozens of seconds slower than the other ones that we were turning yesterday, the wet track required all of the driver's peak concentration, or else. And since all that was required was a banker lap, I turned 1 and came in to save the car.
I broke 3 minutes! I broke 3 minutes on a snow track. Is that the snow record? Is there such a thing as a snow record?
But as other drivers started to trickle in, my confidence in that snow record started to dwindle because I began hearing things about Ben.
Ben actually came by me like I was like full throttle, and Ben comes by me. Whoa!
That's scary.
Yeah,
With that car?
And I'm like,
man.
sorry, dude. Like,
He's got to be having a blast.
oh,
'cause,
he's fast right now.
The MR2 was so poorly set up, driving it in the dry had actually been great practice for real low grip conditions, like the snow. And since I was used to the car being completely undrivable already, I had a bit of a leg up on my competition.
Conditions are not bad considering we're driving in the snow. I wonder if Ben's still out. Surely he can't see anything.
I tried to follow Ben,
Thank you, Marshall.
and he was like, womp, 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 like, he was just like,
Yeah, dude, Ben's an animal.
Find the grip, find the grip. That's not the grip. Oh, driving in the rain is so instructive.
He ran a 252.
Whoa. He beat my time.
He's in a 251 right now.
Dude.
That was fun. That was the most fun I've had this weekend, honestly.
Dude!
What?
Did you see what time you did?
No.
251.
Is that good?
I did a 255. You're second in class now, overall. Dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
Who has the fastest time in class?
You. In the rain.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, I'm first, but you're 4 seconds off. Like, for I did 1 lap. Now I gotta do more laps, dick. Well, we got a real Ayrton Senna here. Ben,
oh, thanks, man.
phenomenal in the snow. I'm not even gonna call it rain. It's sleet.
I'm telling you, literally, the car is so sketchy in the dry.
Yeah. It
When
feels
you're-
the same.
It feels the same. Like when you're driving it in the dry, it feels like you're in the wet. So
Okay,
I'm
so
totally used to it.
if you need some rain driving practice,
Yeah.
your MR2 is the
Go
way
ahead
to
and
go.
take your toe and set it to 2 different things.
Yeah, toe out on one side and in on the other.
Yep. The SCCA is hosting a phenomenal time trial event. This is a great deal of fun. And if you're watching, if you want to get into time attack, grid life, super lap battle, GTA, stuff like that, and you don't want to spend $2,000 to go to Dakota and you want to dip your toe, I think SCCA is a great option.
Yep.
Great field of competitors. I'm not doing this for the competition.
Yep.
Driving in the wet.
It was a lot of fun. I just don't
and
want to
it's-
risk what I
it's
don't have to.
instructive.
It is
It
fun.
makes you a better
It is
driver.
fun. It is fun.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's
All
go
right.
rain dance, baby.
All right.
And
One-
you only did 1 lap.
I only did
and
1
you
lap.
255.
Yeah, because I was like, no need to risk anything. And the car like slid in the infield, so I was like, I probably shouldn't actually. I was just like lifting up
If
the
Ben had done
S's.
more laps, he would be even further ahead of me than he already is.
In the final session of the weekend, I set out to test Ben's claim. Because he set the faster time in the wet, I'd be starting behind him for once. But I didn't plan to stay there. On the outlap, I experimented with some advanced tire warming techniques. But once the hot lap started, it was all business.
With Ben and the Civic hot on my heels, I pushed the MR2 to the limit of my ability, and sometimes a bit beyond, to try and keep out of range. But he was closing me down. Ultimately, though, it was a moot point, because after 1 quick lap in the wet, the battery was soaked.
Ben's mechanical difficulties weren't my concern, though. I kept pounding around the track, finding more time in the slick conditions. Finally, though, I decided it was time to call it a day.
All right, next 4. In 3rd place, with a total time of 5 minutes, 8.9 seconds, Bentley, come on. Ryan Ross, come on up, Ryan. Spot, driving a 1997 Honda Civic with a total time of 4 minutes, 54.2 seconds. Ben Thorn. Come on up, Ben.
Yeah. And look at that minion right there.
Well, Ben, a double podium.
Ben, I'm gonna need you to, I'm just gonna say right now, bring your energy down a couple notches because they just gave you every placard that they had in their possession.
I'm not gonna, I was like, oh, there's another one. I didn't even know about some of
You would think
these.
a Honda Civic had never been to VIR before.
So, lap record
For Max 4.
for Max 4.
Yeah. 208.9.
Fastest overall front wheel drive, and also winning Max 4, the class that we were in.
Yeah. I'm talking because I got third instead of second, so I'm upset about that. But at the very last second, somebody else leapfrogged me in the overall times.
By 1 second, right?
He got down to a 52, I did a 51, but then his combined
Because
times.
the dry time was quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. But 1 second overall.
I don't know, yeah.
It was close.
It's okay.
It was close.
It doesn't matter. I'm not particularly, you know, I was
Yeah,
only
no,
going into
it
it.
doesn't look like you care.
I'm not
All right, so Luke's turn?
You know what? I think Luke should do a track day now. You're
I think
right.
so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe another day where it's not raining.
Yeah, that's a good idea. My only concern is, Ben, do you think that VIR, a big track like this, is a good place for Luke's first track day?
We're here at VIR for my very first track day.
Oh yes, Luke, and it's going to go well.
It's gonna go very well.
I think that you're going to be okay.
I hope
think
so.
You have the most ideal first track day car ever, because you
That's
cannot get into trouble in a Honda Fit.
I hope so. I hope you're right. I've done all the prep for my car. I have new brake pads on it. That's the only thing I've changed since the build and everything. So it's a bone stock car apart from Fortunato 500 coilovers, some Koenig Hypergram wheels, and Falcon 615K plus tires. That's it. This car is going to be significantly slower than the Civic and the MR2. It'll be about half the speed of both those.
So we've already ascertained that the Honda Fit is the best car in the world
Yes.
on the street.
Yep.
Now let's find out if it's the best car on the track as well. Luke, best of luck.
Yep.
Do it for the Honda Fit community.
The Honda Fit community, where my NASA wristband is stuck in my pocket.
I'll be filming you from the sidelines. We're
Yeah.
kind of doing some role reversal.
Yeah.
I haven't done this in a while.
And this is all I do. So spoiler alert, this is the best car still on the track. The best car ever and I rolled out onto the track for my very first session. My nerves were high, but my instructor David gave me some very important information on crucial areas of the track. This is where you're going to get past a lot. So yeah, get ready for the point buys. Yeah.
That's your turning point. Literally. Oh, that's one. That's a good corner there.
Yeah.
All right.
Has a lot of grip.
It does.
I quickly realized that my Fit was immensely underpowered compared to the other people on track. But then I got an unexpected surprise. My first point buy. You're gonna walk me, I don't have the power.
Gotta let you go. He's made a commitment. Let that go. Good job. Good job.
After completing my only point buy for the session, it was time for David to give me some feedback for the next session.
That's a great session, though. You can tell you know the track.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, usually you spend a session or two, maybe three, getting the new guy used to where he's at on the track.
Yeah.
You know that, so
Yeah.
that saves us, you know, several sessions.
Yeah.
How was it?
So much fun. I was so scared and I was like so cold. Like I when I was trying to press the pedal down on the back straight, I was like shaking. Like as I hit the floor, I was like, oh no.
Did you have the heat on?
I did. I had the heat on full blast.
Still cold.
I was still freezing. But
You gotta get that adrenaline flowing more.
I know. I mean, I feel like it was the adrenaline and the cold at the same time. Just like it all came together in like one big thing. And like I understand now what you mean by when you go out on track, you just like everything just like blurs. But my instructor was great. He told me that it was one of the best first sessions he's ever had because I have about 1,000 laps in the sim at VIR.
Yeah.
So I knew my way around the track already.
Well, go hit that 100 miles an hour.
Okay, all right, I'll try. With my heat on full blast, Carhartt jacket, and driving gloves, I was ready to worry less about the cold and start learning where I could go faster and push harder on the track. back end got a little loose. I got passed by a GT3 RS doing about probably 140, and I was doing like 85, and the speed discrepancy was insane. Look at the speed discrepancy. I went to the front. I did have to give a couple point buys, but I somehow managed to stay at the front. I think it's helped me avoid trains, but I did hit a slow C8 Corvette in front of me, so that was a little bit interesting because he would just, like I said, he'd walk me in the straights, but in the corners he was not pushing, I think, as hard as he could.
The 3 is too early because you're braking at the 3.
So you're saying
you
maybe
slow down so much that you get back off the brake to go into the corner, because here you're not on the brakes, and then you carried a little bit too much speed in. So you could brake, like do what you've been doing, go to the 3, nail the brake, okay, get it down to the speed you would take the corner at, and then see how far you are from the actual corner. And that'll tell you how much later you can brake.
Armed with Ben's tips and tricks for getting the most out of my fit, I went out to put them to use. For the next session, I tried experimenting with different lines through some of the corners. Some worked, some did not. That's a little early. Yep. Now it's pushing me out. Yep. Tires are getting greasy.
That wasn't powerful.
Yeah.
Nice problem.
I scared myself a little bit. This car rocks. I made one little error going into 10. When Ben said to, quote, lift off for 10, I lifted off for 10, and the car started doing a little bit of a boogie, sliding out on 10. And so as I was coming down the hill, just planted it, and it just went forward again. It's really just about maximizing the fundamentals of good turn-in and good throttle coming out of corners. I have been having an absolute ball. It feels good to finally, use some of the things I've been hearing for the past 2.5 years constantly while I'm at track days filming the bends. I finally get to understand what all those terms mean, how everything feels, and most importantly, how stressful getting out to a session is.
Hi, I'm David Kelly. I've been instructing for over 3 years now, and my student, Luke, was very good from the get-go. Obviously, all his sim experience has made him aware of the track. I've never had a first-time student be as track aware as he was. And in each session, he has gotten better and faster. It's amazing how much he's grown since yesterday morning to today. It's been an overall best student experience I've had. Obviously, he doesn't have the power, but this thing will take curves, it will brake. I have been truly astonished at how well this car drives.
The goal for day 2 was simple. Get as much seat time as possible, keep working on the fundamentals, and keep pushing harder. Much better. Just now for my first session. The car felt really dialed. Yeah, I spooked my instructor a couple times because I just kept braking later and later into the back straight. So I started at the 2, went to the 1, and then at the air I just looked over and I saw him grab the handle on the door, and he was like tensed up, and I was like, I think it's fine. Come on, go, go, go! I'm flat out! I'm flat! I'm going as hard as I can! I'm going! I can't take the point buys! I kept pushing harder and harder throughout the later sessions, especially turn 10, one of the scariest corners on the whole track. I was experimenting with lifting off instead of braking, which caused me to go a little bit too far out. Yep. Another fantastic session. It was awesome. I did have one little incident that was not very scary for me, but I think scared him more. I finally took 10 with probably the most amount of lift I needed, and then I went over the curbing. And then I dipped a tire and the car bottomed out hard. Got back on the track. I feel more comfortable if I just keep accelerating, tap the brakes a little bit, set the nose, and then turn in. That's how it's making me feel more comfortable, so I think I'm gonna go with that. Last session of the day, I got soloed, so this is gonna be my first time in the car by myself. Not perfect, but we'll take it, and I'm off. Yep, I'm off. I didn't bin it, but I went off. Go for it. All right. So my weekend is now concluded here at VIR. I just completed my last session. It was once again incredibly fun, and I have nothing but great things to say about this fit.
Luke, I'm so freaking proud of my boy.
Ben, before you get too proud, I did have an off that session. I did have one off. It was at 5. The car had been pushing really hard there all weekend. So I dumped it off 5, and I felt like I kind of blew it.
This is all about car control, okay? And it's all about like learning. It doesn't matter if you go off, right? As long as you do it safely. You did it in a controlled way.
Yeah.
You knew you were gonna go off, and then you did it in the safest way possible. It doesn't matter, the car's fine. You
Yeah.
didn't hit anything,
Yeah.
nobody's disappointed
Yeah.
you. I literally could not be prouder than I am right now. I feel like my son has just achieved my lifelong dream. You did every session. You did 8 out of 8 sessions. You did every lap of every session.
I did.
You had 0 car issues.
So this car survived the entire weekend on the 3 principal mods. I have wheels, I have tires, and I have Fortunato 500 coilovers. That's it in terms of modifications that are pretty big. Now, this car felt incredibly planted everywhere on the track, especially through the S's, which I was very intimidated by when I first got here. These Fortunes, I'm telling you, they hug the road. They do their job incredibly. Every car you saw in this video, the MR2, the Civic, and the Fit, all are on Fortunatos. So if that's not saying something, I don't know what is. So those mods will get you most of the way, but if you are taking your Fit to the track and you want to brake at the aero, make sure you have good brake fluid and you have good brake pads. For this event, I was running some high temp .4 brake fluid, and then I had some Carbotech XP8s in the front. Apart from that, you seriously can have a seat time car that did 8 sessions, every session, like start to finish, no issues, didn't even burn a half tank of gas in a whole day. And you can have it for easily under 10 grand.